Hey guys, this is Brown back talking sports again to talk about some NFL news. Late in that Thursday night football game, when the Steelers played the Browns, literally a few seconds before the game was about to end, a huge fight broke out between, a lot of players got involved later on, but it first happened between Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph. Garrett tackled Mason Rudolph when the ball was clearly out, but Mason obviously got pissed off at that. And Mason tried to take his helmet off, and Garrett got really upset. He got really pissed. He succeeded where Mason failed. He totally stripped Mason's helmet off of him, and then he kind of backed up because one of the Pittsburgh people kind of were trying to break it up. He backed up into the end zone. Rudolph was pissed. He was like following him and was like screaming at him. And then Garrett tried to hit Mason with his own helmet. Of course, he was ejected. And later on, it was confirmed by ESPN.com that he's suspended indefinitely. At the very least, he plays no longer this season, which includes playoff games if the Browns make the playoffs. One thing that surprised me about the Browns this season is that their defense, for the most part, was pretty solid. And Myles Garrett had a decent amount to do with that. He's a very talented guy, and the fact that he got the suspension, not only at the end of the game, but when the Browns are on an upswing and are actually making a playoff push, this is very detrimental to the Browns, and it was just very boneheaded by Garrett. I get it. I get his frustration. Mason tried to take his helmet off originally. So I get why he was upset then and why he tried to take Mason's helmet off, but the NFL is not going to allow that, and there's just no excuse for you trying to hit him. If anything, you just push him away, push him to the ground. You don't have to resort to stuff like that. That's what guaranteed a definite suspension for Garrett. That's what doomed him. Along with Mason Garrett getting suspended indefinitely, there were a few other players getting suspended. Not as long as him, but there were a few other participants in all the action that occurred last night. Larry Ogunjobi got a 1 game suspension for shoving Rudolph right after Garrett hit Mason with the helmet, which was very unnecessary. I don't blame the NFL for doing that. And then Marquise Pouncey, the Steelers center, he got a 3 game suspension. He was punching at Garrett. He was punching at his helmet, so it didn't really hurt anything. But I don't agree with the 3 game suspension because this was like right after Garrett hit Mason with his own helmet. So in my eyes, Pouncey was just trying to protect his quarterback. And I feel like a 1 game suspension would have been appropriate enough, but I don't know about 3 games. I don't know if that's was really necessary. Some people are saying that the NFL is going overboard with this suspension for like the indefinite suspension for Garrett, especially since Mason tried to take his helmet off. And while I see what they're saying, I understand the NFL and agree with the NFL completely because there's a certain point where you just got to be smart. Like swinging on him with his own helmet, that was just uncalled for. And again, it was like 8 seconds left in the game. Like you just got to be smart in that situation. This was a good day for Cleveland's defense. They held the Steelers' offense to like 7 points. They completely smashed these guys. It was a good day, and you just got to be smart and not get yourself into situations where this stuff can happen, you know? And again, Mason was totally wrong for trying to take his helmet off. Some people say it was incidental. I don't think so. I feel like he was definitely trying to take his helmet off. But you just can't do that. You got to remove yourself from the situation. Garrett apologized for it. He was saying that he lost his cool and it was selfish and he made a mistake, and that's a good sign that he's not just some Vontez Burfict. He's not out here headhunting. It's good to see that he's holding himself accountable, even though Mason did start it. He's holding himself accountable because that's just It's selfish and boneheaded, and I'm glad for him. But that apology, I mean, it's not gonna. It matters, but when it comes to playing games, it's not gonna matter too much. It was just a really unfortunate situation for both teams, especially the Browns. It'll be interesting to see how their defense looks. They have more people on their defense besides Garrett, but it just wasn't a good way to finish a good win against a divisional opponent. So yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this. Well, actually, one more thing. I'm surprised Mason didn't get any punishment off of this. Like I said, the Pittsburgh center, he got suspended for 1 game, and there were fines given out to both teams for this whole debacle. But as far as I know, Mason didn't get any punishment. I'm not taking any blame away from Garrett. You can't go off. Well, you definitely can't take somebody's helmet off, let alone swing at them with their own helmet. That has no place in the NFL. But there should be something said for the person who started this. I get Mason was a bit pissed, but Garrett probably didn't even see that the ball left his hands. He was just trying to make a tackle. And again on the Steelers, like why were they passing? It was 8 seconds left and you're down by 2 scores. What are you passing screens for? I think it was a screen. They should have just ran out the clock or just kneeled or something. But yeah, he should have he should have gotten a suspension or some fine or some sort of punishment. I don't think he deserved to get smacked with his own helmet, but at the same time, it goes both ways. Like you can't just try and take somebody's helmet off. Like he was clearly trying to take his helmet off. The NFL is a violent sport, but let's keep the violence to incidental things or things that happen on the field, not because we're just pissed off at somebody and we want to get back at them. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this whole situation. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, Brown Bag signing out. Okay, on second thought, actually disregard that one thing I said about Mason Rudolph because the NFL will be fining him. Glad the NFL's doing this. It's rightfully done. Yeah, I'm gone. So, see you guys.